Go ahead. Just watch the boom.
No, sorry. Right here, good?
That's great. Go ahead.
So I have long considered this the major downfall of the American political system. And honestly, I've been too decent to talk about it until now, until this special election. This nation is divided into two factions, right? It's the red team versus the blue team. And hell, maybe we shouldn't even be talking about this stuff at all. I mean, we're in Arizona, for goodness sake. Let's talk about the weather. Let's talk about the Phoenix Suns and how bad were they last season. Get it together, guys. Come on. I mean, but seriously, though, it's time to do this. Let's go. It's gonna be awesome. Hi.
Oh, look what we have here, Mr. Independent. Mister, I got brand new ideas. What is this, a Kentucky Derby? We got a dark horse in this race. You smell that mane? It's real stinky. You come here to run for the election? You think you're going to win, buddy? Because you're not. Unless, of course, you want to win the mayor of Tickletown. Huh?
No.
Is that what you want? You want to be mayor of Tickletown?
No.
You come here on a tickle train? They
No.
serve a nice little roast duck from Giggle Goose County? Oh, excuse me, is there a doctor on this train? We got an overreactive funny bone. This guy is such a klutz.
Bruh, would you look at how handsome he is? Are you looking at this? Are you getting an image in your head? You think you can just throw in a lapel pin and a power tie and go out there and wow the butts off the people out there in those seats? Are you using your eyes to view this proud and strong beard? Your beard is sparse and weak. A little piece of advice? Take it easy on that party tray, huh, Lil Wayne? Make a honey baked ham up in that pretty little grill of yours.
Oh, wow, there is honey baked ham. So, I mean, enough with the incivility and the tickling. That's actually why I'm running this campaign.
Oh, you want to talk about tickling?
No.
Is that what you want, ham boy?
No, it's not.
Now you speak my language real good. Tickle you. Oh, you don't like being tickled, do you?
No.
Do you?
What I meant was the way that we talk about politics in this country is just rude. It's like retelling of bumper sticker philosophies and just really mean-spirited tribalism, you know?
All right, Dalai Lama. We've heard enough for right now. I'll see you outside, unless, of course, the organizers wised up and finally kicked his sorry ass out. You know what I mean? Anyways, we'll tickle you on the flip side.
There's no need for that hostility. I'm glad you got that on camera. It just goes to show exactly what my point is. The political system in this country is just, oh, God, that's good. This is bad, but this is good.
This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about right here. Give me a little bit. I'm just gonna go, man.
Hey, you're on in 5.
Thank you.
And even if it was a little bit racist, the Illegastanies, Illeglicans, and Illiganders, whatever the politically correct phrase is this week, ought to give us a little space out of politeness, as decent neighbors ought.
Now, wait a hot minute. You mean to tell me that the fine Latino voters of this state aren't welcome in this country? Let me explain this in the clearest way possible. The state of Arizona, it's like an old-timey Wild West locomotive. To get on, you got to pay the fare. Sometimes you pay first class. Or you sometimes wind up with the stinky third class that somehow weasels its way on the train, but isn't really worth talking about. That being said, my real opponent, she wants to make this a racist train. We've got a racist conductor driving this locomotive with black soot all over her face, making it blackface, making it more racist. All the meanwhile, you got Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, unemployment and inflation, trying to rob the train. Frankly, I'm against both of those things, but my opponent, I'm not so sure.
Choo-choo. You thought the locomotive allegory was the clearest way? What an outrageous claim that I like bad things and dislike things that are good. And that you, sir, would link Robert Redford, a great American, to inflation. You, sir, would have our great state fall into a place of lawlessness.
Mr. Moderator, if I could just have the floor just for a minute, just please.
The floor is granted to the surprisingly polite independent candidate.
We clearly have a problem with the civil discourse in this country, and I aim to strike at the root of that problem. Topics such as politics, religion, race are too touchy to even be talked about. Let me display for you the smart voters' alternative. Do you guys remember a few months back when the Phoenix Coyotes were looking to move out of this great state? Well, they didn't. They stayed. You know who I wish would have left? Snowbirds. Snowbirds are terrible, aren't they? They drive so slow. The other day I was stuck behind a snowbird for more than 20 minutes. I was so angry I thought I was going to eat my steering wheel. Am I right? Am I right? Did you see that? Did everybody notice this? Did everybody feel it? We just connected on a shared geographical experience. It was pleasant, wasn't it? Oh, I saw it. I saw the tiny smile. I saw it. Let it out, man. Let out those smiles. Let's be as neighborly as my Republican colleague pretends to be, and just forget all this political nonsense. Tiny smiles for a tiny world. Thank you.
Tiny smiles for a tiny world. I like that.
So, yeah, I have a question for the independent candidate in the form of a 6-part declarative statement. So I find your positions, interesting, very intriguing, but ultimately doomed, because it's based on this idea that, being apolitical is at all existentially feasible. If you don't want us to talk about sensitive subjects like politics or religion or metaphysics, then you're just casting us into this sort of ready-made world where we are ruled by the people who are willing to participate in power. It's just deceptive and dangerous to default to the status quo under the guise of being polite. If you want us to be apolitical, well, everything we do is political. How we choose to relate to other human beings, our relationship with the planet, what we choose to value. These are all decisions with deep and inextricable political causality. Privacy is just this liberal illusion, and language itself, moreover, is just the interplay of power and therefore politics. As Nietzsche said it, there are no facts, just interpretations. That's the political reality we live in, and no tiny smiles are going to let us escape from that. There's not even a possibility of an objective or neutral or even apolitical subject position.
Tiny smiles.
The earnest suggestion that there is such a thing is enough to make this voter seriously reconsider your viability as a representative of the general will of the people of this district. We will reject any agent of the status quo as natural with vigor. And moreover... Is she okay?
Okay. How about the next question?
Yeah. I was wondering, why does the world exist? And what are we supposed to do with it? And each other? And stuff.
Social justice.
The Constitution.
Fairness.
Freedom.
No free lunches. Free lunches.
Life is precious. And God. And the Bible.
Equality.
Protect the unborn.
Effective airstrikes. Corporate accountability.
Small government.
Seatbelts for all.
Politics, baby.
Liberty.
Responsible drinking for underage children.
Red, oh, red, red, hot. So hot.
And so Mill Avenue during the school year any given Friday night was denounced by the local misanthrope as literally the most obnoxious thing in the valley.
Surprise upset in the special election, due primarily to the grassroots activism of one Arizona State University political theory PhD student, the independent candidate has won by a close margin.
He really seemed to take it to heart. We need a candidate who takes seriously recent advances in academic political theorizing, which is why I led the efforts to get him elected. I mean, really, it wasn't that hard. Not that many people vote in local elections, let alone local special elections. Seriously, like 12 people voted.
This wacky little state of ours is just full of surprises, isn't it, Carlitos?
It sure is, Julia.
I won. Oh my god, I won.
Do you think you could tell us a little bit about how your philosophical struggle will influence your term in office?
I just kind of ignore that stuff now. I think there's a time in everybody's life where you just have to freaking pick one way to go and just go with it, be at peace with it. And that's tiny smiles for me. I think if you spend too much time thinking on these irresolvable questions, it's just a surefire way to start talking about politics and religion again. That's just not what I want to get back to, even if that grad student had a point.
Oh, hey, do you remember me from the debate? I really like what you had to say about things. What I found most interesting was...
You get it. Don't forget. Don't forget, okay? One has to set a good example for the train that is Arizona. I mean, you've noticed how hot it is lately, right? But at least it's a dry heat. And those suns, they're off to a fast start. You know who isn't off to a fast start? Those darn snowbirds. Enough. Don't do it again.
That's explaining.